people can. Oh, there we go. Now I think people can hear us. Good
I
morning.
can see us. I can see us in Twitch.
Good morning. How's
Morning.
everybody doing this fine Sunday morning?
I'm doing
Everybody's
awesome.
doing well.
Yeah.
How are you, Josh? How's
You know,
I
not too bad.
so last time you started this cybersecurity class, I believe, in
Yeah.
school, right? Yeah. How's that?
Right. um. Yeah. It's boring, I guess,
What
since it's
is it intro to cybersecurity? Is that what it is?
pretty much. I mean, so the first four modules were like cryptography, cipher suites,
Okay.
um, network fundamentals, logs, and then password cracking. So like we use John the Ripper, and then Hashcat.
Okay.
And play around with that a bit.
Oh, that seems fun. I mean, comparatively. I mean, network
I
fundamentals
mean,
probably threw you for a loop.
yeah, totally.
Um, so I mean, I can see doing the password cracking. I mean, were you using it on um like university machines or was it?
Yeah. I thought I'm thinking about. Well, I've been trying. I haven't really spent that much time on it, but he's using Kali Linux boxes in a lab there on
Okay,
campus,
okay,
and I was thinking about just setting one up in the home lab and then tying it to one of the GPUs and just
okay.
seeing like playing with the password cracking that way.
Yeah, I know there's a group that releases the what is it like the time to hack like different passwords like with different number of characters using different character groups like alphanumeric versus special
Yeah.
characters versus whatever. And they release a new one every year based on the current GPU hardware, something like that. But
Mm. Like how many characters you should be putting in there, and how many
well, no,
numbers.
just how long it takes to crack a
Oh,
particular like a an 8 character password with just alphanumeric, 8 character password with alphanumeric or just alpha, just
yeah,
capitals, and then just lowercase, just capital or capitals and lowercase, capitals, lowercase, and numbers, capital, lowercase, numbers, and
yeah.
special characters, all that stuff. So they
But
they do the
one thing
different ones.
yeah. One of the things I noticed with John the Ripper, it took it like on that Kali Linux VM, it took it like a day to crack an eight character password and it was alphanumeric, but it only had one number in it.
So I know that this isn't a show about cybersecurity, but but the problem that you run into, and we talk about those things of how long it takes to do something. That's straight brute force with no library, right?
Yeah. No word list, no nothing, no dictionary.
So
Yeah.
here's this is the actual problem is they have password lists out there and which have an innumerable amount of passwords that have been previously using used. Hey, I'm not an English major. Come on now.
Mm.
That have been used by like actual places that they've gotten passwords from.
Yeah.
So it's really, and they can, and password hackers can, or password tools can go through those passwords stupidly fast. Like you're talking about how many times they can try a password against something is crazy, crazy fast. Considering that you can try all the permutations of an 8 character password, and you said it took a day
Yeah.
to brute force it. If you had libraries that had previously using passwords, millions upon millions of previously used passwords, that you can program a tool to try all those passwords as well as known variations of those passwords, using a number 8 instead of a B or a
Yeah.
5 instead of an S or
Yeah.
to do all those.
Hashcat has all that stuff built into it. You're gonna be
Yeah.
like, oh hey, I know the first six characters of this password. Only check the last four. Oh, and I know they're all digits or whatever. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff you can do.
Yeah. So so that's one of those things when they're talking about brute forcing a password. They're talking about trying all the permutations of that password until it randomly comes upon the correct one. That's not using a dictionary. Using dictionaries, they can get most passwords within a day or two, or I mean,
Yeah,
not even,
not even that sometimes. Yeah.
if not sooner, because well, that's like one of the
Well,
recommendations.
especially like if you're going after a specific person, I
Correct.
mean, even because then
Exactly.
you can customize your dictionary. You say like, okay, hey, here's everything I know about this person. Like,
Here's the
let's put
dog's
in
name.
stuff for,
Here's
yeah,
their birthday. Here's their parents' birthday. Here's their wherever they grew up. Here's their favorite this. Their
yeah.
their brother's name or their son's name or whatever.
Their favorite sport is football, or their favorite team is,
Yeah.
their yeah,
Yeah.
all that
You,
stuff.
yeah. So it's and that's what like I know when we were doing it, and one of the suggestions that we always made was if you're going to do passwords, make it a sentence because the longer it is, the better. No matter how you lay it out there, the longer the password is, 100% the better it is. Whether you even just using capitals and lower cases, if you have a 26 character password that's capitals and just lower cases, is a lot more effective than an 8 character password that has symbols and everything else in it. Um, but yeah, it's do a phrase, do a sentence, do something that you're going to easily remember, that and if you do a phrase or a sentence that has spaces in it, which are considered special characters. But you can even add more like exclamations, commas, all that stuff.
Good
But
stuff. Yeah.
just doing something like that. A good example is um, that we always that I always used was I love to eat ice cream 10 times a day with an exclamation. Like that's a very strong password. Don't use it because it's an example, but it's something like that. Um, but now we're off password theory because we could
Mhm.
spend a whole episode just doing that. Oh, how often should you rotate passwords, Josh?
I mean, it depends on who you ask. Like, there's different schools of thought. Uh, I mean,
In
they
your professional opinion, Josh, how often should you rotate passwords? Do you think a 90-day period to rotate passwords is good or bad?
the
30
the
days?
problem the
Every
problem
two
that I have
weeks?
with the short time period is that it takes people time to memorize their passwords, and so if they only have 90 days, they're more inclined to write them down. And so like
Or
I
do what? Or do what? This is a great one. What do they do if they know they're going to have to change it in 30 days?
uh, I don't think. What do they do? Just change one character or one number or something
One
like that?
number. They incrementally
Yeah,
increase it. Oh, I think I'm
yeah,
on like number 9 or
yeah,
15. I don't know. It's either 13 or 14. I'm on the
yeah,
numbers.
yeah.
It's
I used to do that in the Air Force. I mean, like,
it's terrible. It's
yeah,
so you don't achieve better security through changing the passwords so often because one, people don't remember them, so you have the problem of people changing passwords. Um, like calling up, oh, I don't remember what my password is. Oh, I locked myself out. So you create more frustration with the user, which then causes them to do what? Make easier passwords.
yeah,
Well, I'm going to have to change it anyway. So what's the point of making it hard? So, something that's long that I have to type in. So they'll use the most basic, easiest thing to do because you force them to do that. So, no, you should and there are some people that believe this, some security experts believe this. You should require strong passwords, minimum 16 characters, you know alphanumeric, with special characters, and then only change them when necessary, which would be like if there was a compromise,
yeah,
if the password comes up in some password list somewhere, or as a
yeah,
compromised password or something like that.
yeah. Or yeah, you go through the AD hashes and and then you use a common word list and
Yep.
it cracks it real easy. Man.
Yep.
Or I think Nessus does that with the vulnerability scans now, something along those
A
lines.
lot of them do. Password
Yeah.
managers, which everybody should use password managers too. Um, Password managers actually will use the hashes to see if your passwords are on password list as well. So
Yeah, Google's telling me one of my passwords is is now showing up in a common word list. So and it's one I use for a lot of stuff. So I got to go through and change a whole bunch of shit.
And also, folks, you should never use the same password on multiple things. You should use different
Yeah.
passwords for everything because if you use the same password, you end up going through things like what Josh is going through right now, which is a great example of how not to
Well,
do
well,
your.
see, the difference being is that I only use that for accounts that I don't give it that I don't care about, that don't have
No,
personal
no,
information, don't have
yeah.
banking. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you use that for your banks, your credit cards, your important
Yeah.
things, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, let me just say it out loud.
You want to put
So
it in chat? Go ahead and put it in
yeah,
chat real quick.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. So, what we're actually here today for is last week we talked about the Article 3, the judicial system, judicial branch. And we kind of got some of the things that we wanted. Let's switch over to our web view here real quick. Uh oh. Josh, it's not there.
That is unfortunate.
It's terrible. I can't believe that you've done this. Oh wait, no, I just was on the wrong thing. There we go. Ah, there we go. It's magic. Oh, oh, it's magic. Okay. So we took our list of things that we thought that, hey, what should we do? Um, and I think what we need to do, I don't know if we need a separate article for the financial disclosure, um, because we want to put that on essentially
Elected officials.
all elected officials, period.
Yeah.
And we need to generalize that across the board. Well, not just elected officials, government
You
officials,
want to do it for unelected bureaucrats?
unelected people like, oh, I don't know, the everybody that's appointed to the cabinet. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I'm
If we're
I'm thinking
talking
more
just
like
elected officials, that's not far enough.
yeah. I'm thinking of like well, and I don't know. Maybe that's something to discuss where it's you know it, down to a certain point of every government bureaucracy, whether it's the FBI or the FCC or the EPA,
Oh
something
yeah,
like that.
no, and that's the
Um,
thing. You could
if
do.
you're in any sort of management position, or I don't know, something where you have like a fiduciary responsibility to the people of the United States,
That's actually a
like
good.
it yeah, if you have if you if you're making decisions about finances, yeah, I think
I spelled that wrong. Go figure it.
FUD. I think no, that looks right. Yeah, oh,
Fiduciary.
FID.
Yeah,
Fiduciary.
FID. Um, financial fidu. I don't. Yeah.
Fidouche.
Um, so I'm thinking maybe we need a whole, like, just even a separate article, like take that out of Article
Yeah,
2 and just do a separate article after everything, all elected officials and any officers, federal officers, and or like we need to delineate who this applies to.
yeah.
But during their
I mean, because
employment,
it shouldn't be the average guy, working for the EPA, like as an analyst or something like that, that uh, you know, should have to do those financial disclosures. But
exactly. No, I know, I agree. I think it's mainly people that are I want to say management, but people that are making decisions that have a
with
a
with
wide
taxpayer
ranging
money,
impact. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, the and I'm thinking that there should be a difference between elected officials versus appointed officials. Like that all needs to be run down. But I'm thinking that that's going to have to be a separate article. Make that article 4 or 5 or 7 or 10 or whatever we need it to be. But
sure.
yeah, I think we need to pull that out of all of them because it applies to the government as a whole, not just one branch. So
Yeah.
so we'll have to look at that. But outside of that, I think
Well,
we
and then I'm kind of wondering if there should be something in there where state constitutions have to include something to that
similar.
extent as well. Uh, I don't know.
I
So
don't know that you can like I think you can deny the state to be able to do certain things. I don't know that there's anything in the
you can
Constitution
force them.
that requires them.
Yeah.
We'll have to look because in the next article, I believe, yeah, full faith and credit shall be given to the state of the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings. Yeah, so Article 4 is about states. I want to say, where is it? Articles.
States' rights, maybe.
Well, state citizenships and new states is
Mm.
4. So let's see state citizenship, new states, amendment process, debts, supremacy, oaths, religious tests, and then ratifications. So somewhere in here.
Is that like white supremacy or like what?
Yes, yes,
Uh,
100% about that.
hmm.
No, basically saying that this is the law of the land. The Constitution shall
Yeah.
not be usurped by anything.
Right.
Yeah. But,
Mm.
anyways, so let's get to
Hey.
what we have put together here. So, things we talked about, got to establish of court, of course. 18-year terms, staggered terms, the financial disclosure, we just talked about that. 9 justices, but I kind of erred on the side of have the same amount of justices as there are circuits, kind of for a more simple thing.
I thought there's
Compensation,
13 circuits.
13 circuits, correct.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
currently 13 circuits, yeah. Compensation, the possibility of court packing, federal state immunity. Like I covered a lot of this stuff in here, so let's just go through it. So, Section 1, this is where we establish essentially the court, judicial power that shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and such inferior courts of Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. No court shall be secret. This is the secret court from the Oregon State Constitution, the one that the Libertarian Constitution added. No court shall be
Well,
secret. Do what?
and I think it's FISA. It's getting rid of FISA courts too.
Yeah. Justice shall be administered openly without purchase, completely and without delay, and every person shall have remedy by due process of law for injury done to life, liberty, or property. So I think there's some extra sort of the theme we're going for. And if you want to talk about like the general theme as far as what we're trying to accomplish or go for what we're doing here, I would say it's a mix of all three. It's sort of a conservative, libertarian, and liberal kind of like a mishmash of all of it, because we want the freedoms that are, you know, the libertarians' viewpoint. Hey, I'm my own person. I have the freedom to do with what I want with my body and myself, as long as I don't infringe on the
My
rights.
finances, my property, my resources. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't infringe on somebody else's right to their own body, you know,
Right.
resources, financial, whatever. And then taking that up to, actually into the government, the whole fiduciary responsibility, saying that, hey, you're not going to have, like, you can't do this for yourself. You can't enrich yourself by doing this.
Yeah.
And then from the liberal side of it, which to me is really funny when you talk about libertarians and liberals.
They're almost the same word, but they mean very different things.
I, but not necessarily, because the liberal side of it is, or progressive, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, is all about the freedom to do what you want. But being liberal is about. I mean, we're gonna have to do
So,
it.
well, no,
Oops.
so well, I'm thinking social, like socially, like
Uh,
it's the freedom to do what you want, but then at the same time, it's also like, but the to a certain extent, the government should be there to take care of you and to and to provide for you to a certain extent.
And this is the fun. Okay, liberalism is the political and moral philosophy centered on individual liberty, equality, and the consent of the governed. Its core ideas include individual rights, the rule of law, and a system governed with government with limited power. Like,
But yeah, so at some point they threw that last part out, and then they were like,
no, oh no, 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 no. Okay, I'm not talking about current, because if we want to
yeah.
talk about current politics, the conservative politics falling into
Oh no, nobody wants limited government power anymore. Like there's no political party that wants that. I'm not trying to point fingers at one
yeah,
or the other, but like it's that they want to use that that unlimited government power in different ways to to bludgeon their enemies with like a and use it as a cudgel to,
yes.
to destroy their enemies.
So classic liberalism focuses heavily on free market, private property, keeping the government out of people's daily lives, and viewing the state as a main threat to freedom, which is kind of funny because keeping the government out of people's daily lives, which is not what conservatism is, right? Because conservatism, we regulate what people can do in conservatism, right?
Right.
Right?
Well, I mean, I guess if you went back 30 years or 40 years probably now, um, I don't think that would be the answer, but
So conservatism, this is a political and social philosophy that promotes retaining traditional values, customs, and establishes institutions while being cautious of rapid or radical change. Its core ideas emphasize social stability, historical continuity, and organic societal growth over sudden revolution or large-scale social engineering.
I never I mean I knew about the tradition and the institutions and moving slowly,
Yeah.
but I never would have thought that that was the definition of conservatism.
Oh, what are you talking about? I guarantee you that there is not one quote unquote conservative person, general John Q. Public, that actually knows what the definition of
Right.
conservatism, liberalism, socialism. They could not define a single one of them,
Yeah.
an actual definition.
Not correctly.
Guarantee.
No. Not yeah.
I mean,
Not
I
not
can't.
according to the dictionary.
I
Yeah.
can't. I can't.
Yeah.
Like, you don't. You don't. You just hear what people shout about it. So, social
Yeah.
conservatism focuses heavily on preserving moral codes, religious values, and traditional family structures, which is really funny to me. Really funny to me. So, whose traditional family structures? Are we talking
Sure.
about East Asian traditional family structures? Are we talking about South Asian traditional family structures? Are we talking about um, Eastern European, African, maybe Middle Eastern? Whose traditional family structures are we talking about here in conservative? So what that means is anybody's traditional family structures. So whatever your
You would hope.
traditional family structure that you think it is in your society, you don't want that to change because that's what you've known. And that's what conservatism is about. So fiscal economic conservative emphasizes free markets, low taxes, private property rights, and limited government regulation over business and daily life. I can see that. Low taxes,
Yeah.
low
But
taxes.
I don't know. That's weird. That's weird to me because out of one side of your mouth, you're saying like we want to preserve all these institutions and these values,
Yep,
but we want to we want to limit the government regulation in your daily life. So how
correct.
those
How
two
do you do
things,
both?
yeah, they contradict each other. At least in my mind, they do. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd love to have the argument with somebody else, but like it just off the top of my head, those two things contradict each other.
which is really funny because the core principles believing that strong laws, public authority, and established social duties are needed to maintain peace and restrain human flaws. Believing that strong laws, isn't that the man? Isn't that government?
Yeah, I mean, well, and especially if you look at the definition of that sentence where it says order and authority. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not limited government. It
no.
those two words do not scream limited government to me. Like,
So so this is what I find funny about this stuff is most people believe in liberalism. Most people.
mm,
If you talk to people and they say what they think it should be, they believe in liberalism. But
Yeah,
Don't ever
how we should be governed on a daily basis. Yeah.
don't don't ever tell that to somebody. Don't ever put the word liberal in a sentence to somebody that thinks that they are
Oh,
conservative.
I walk up and tell every person I see with a MAGA hat that, like just to see what happens.
Okay. So I was okay. They're on HBO, and you really should watch this, Josh, because I think we should go.
Okay.
There's a documentary about Burning Man.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it is a four part. It's got four episodes about Burning Man, and it's really funny. Um, who was it? Norquist, a famous Republican, went to Burning Man,
Mhm.
and who was it? Whatever the last name, Norquist,
I
Graham
can't.
Norquist. I don't remember his first name.
That's not ringing a bell for me, unfortunately. But yeah,
Yeah,
but a high up Republican.
Norquist, Grover Norquist. Sorry, American political activist, anti-tax advocate. Okay, so yeah, so Grover Norquist, he was a Republican primary promoter of the taxpayer pledge. Da 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 da. One of the candidates for the Republican presidential nomination in 2012. Right? Okay, he went to Burning Man, and one of
Mhm.
his comments was people would come up to him at Burning Man. Now, Burning Man is supposed to be known as this very free, very liberal, very sex, drugs, rock and roll, art, like very progressive thing that happens. People go out into the middle of the desert and they have no rules, no laws, no whatever. They're out there just gallivanting around, right?
Yeah.
So he went out
Do
there.
you?
He went out there, and it's hilarious. He goes, yeah, people will come up to me all the time. It's like, don't tell anybody, but I'm one of the only Republicans here. He's like, yeah, you're the 14th person that's told me that. Look, and this is the problem with political parties is
Yes.
they, and that's why I think
Hey,
libertarianism took off so much,
yeah.
because it people don't understand that they believe, like, that they want liberalism,
Well,
like they want
well,
liberty.
yeah. Or when you try to encompass the idea of what people need from government into two political parties, like, I mean, how much stuff can you stuff in that box? That box is only so big. Like, and so you're looking
Yep.
at it, and it's like, okay, um, do I like this? You have to you have to make a choice. Like, well, and not all of them are great, and they're usually not great. Where it's like, hey, do I want to protect my money, my economic status, or do I want to vote on social issues, or or whatever ends up being most important to you? And then you're like, oh well, now I guess I'm a Republican. Like, which like
Oh yeah.
don't doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but
No, no, it doesn't. So let's get what is it? We got progressivism too.
yeah. You want to do communism as well?
Already did. Already got it up here. Okay. So if we talk about the three constitutions that we've been looking at, right? We have the progressive one. It's a political and social flag that promotes social reform, government action to solve societal problems, and improving the human condition. It focuses on change, fairness, and using science or public policy to fix issues like economic equality and public political corruption. So let's see.
They're doing a great job so far.
Yeah, believes the government should actively help solve social and economic problems instead of letting the free market fix everything alone. Which the problem is, okay, we'll talk about that in a second. So,
Okay.
regulation seeks to
Up
control
here,
corporate monopolies, stop unfair labor practices, and protect workers and consumers. Advocates for civil rights, equality, better living conditions for low income and marginalized people. Now, I don't understand this. I mean, low income and marginalized groups just go buy a house. I mean, come on, quit being
right.
homeless.
Yeah, like the lady on Instagram said,
Yeah,
the woman on Instagram.
just go buy a house.
Like, I don't
Jeez.
understand why you're homeless. Just go buy a house.
Um, so a major reform movement in the United States from the 1890s to the 1920s that fought against child labor, unsafe foods, and corrupt political bosses. You know, things that
Oh,
You would
come on,
think,
that never happens. Greed is
yeah.
good. Like come on.
Um,
Like,
so that's progressivism, which if you notice here, there's like they're not we're not talking, they don't talk about moral codes, they don't talk about this stuff. They want, essentially, they want government to do better for the people, right? Like
yeah,
they want the government to come in and step up and make it better for us. You know, child labor, unsafe foods. Like they're not sitting out here saying, "Hey, get rid of religion, get rid of this. We have, you know, 30 different genders, all that stuff." That's not what they're
yeah,
saying. Continue the policies addressing modern changes like healthcare access, environmental protection, and economic fairness. So if you look at this as a whole, progressivism has nothing to do with any type of moral things. Would you agree or would you not?
I mean, I think there's some morality in the idea that,
You take care of each other.
yeah, that
Yeah,
like
there's a little
maybe
morality in there. I
maybe
mean,
maybe maybe
I'm
like
sorry.
some sort of universal moral code, because it's like, because I mean, some we could bring somebody on the podcast that wants to bring back child labor and make the argument for it. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm sure we could find somebody.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can.
yeah.
Why shouldn't they
Eh,
work?
yeah. But I would say that the overwhelming majority of us all think that 5-year-olds probably shouldn't be put in a sweatshop for 12 hours a day.
I don't
Um,
know why. I mean, they're sitting around doing nothing anyways.
yeah, I know. That's what I keep telling Cadra, her little 4-year-old Kira. I was like, you need to get a job. Like, whenever she's
You got them
bothering me.
tiny hands. You can do a lot of
Yeah.
things us other people
Yeah.
can't. You got them nimble fingers. Okay. So that's what progressivism is. I feel like this is more of, hey, we should use the people that we are electing to govern us should be doing stuff for us to protect us, not
Yeah.
them. They should be doing it for us. That to me, that is,
Yeah.
they should be protecting the
For
people that elect them.
yeah, for
I,
the
I
for
can
the
understand that.
majority of the people, not specific,
Correct.
not specific groups or
Correct. Well,
interest
I
groups.
mean,
What I was
child
gonna say.
labor, kids, they were trying to protect kids, which is really
Yeah.
weird. Screw them kids.
Yeah, I know.
Um, I mean, that's a clip right there. Someone should definitely clip
I
that
mean,
and put
yeah,
that
we
in.
should go back to the was that Newsies, that Disney movie back in the or that was set back in the early 1900s, where they were paying them like a penny or something to
A
roam
shilling?
this per paper, to roam the streets of New York City and sell newspapers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, why not? They're not doing anything else, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Work for your money.
yeah,
So liberalism is individual freedom. And this is another weird thing. Liberalism believes in equality, that all people are equal under the law and deserve the same political and social opportunities. I mean, people are equal? Ah, that
yeah.
sounds
Well, that
weirdly.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, it sounds weirdly like, I don't know, progressiveness. But yes, liberalism is kind of the same thing, I guess. If you look towards the left of the spectrum, government should take care of the people, but not infringe on their rights. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Laws
agreed.
must protect individual rights and apply equally to everyone, including the leaders. Makes total
Yeah.
sense to me. Nobody is
Well,
above the law.
and I see. I was thinking about this. There was something in the that you put in section one that was talking about the equality under the law. And I was thinking of instances where, like, even recently, I'll use the deportation examples, where it's like, oh well, he's an illegal alien, so like we don't have to give him due process, or her,
Yeah,
or
I'm
whoever.
I'm I'm
Uh,
gonna do a hot take on that. Nobody's illegal.
my bad.
No, I'm just saying that's my personal opinion. Nobody
Yeah,
is
you,
anywhere.
you hear the way they say in the media, and then it sticks in your brain. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just my hot take. Nobody is illegal. Like I don't.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
we could go on what alien is, but
yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
but so someone who does not have a legal, I don't, never mind, I don't care. Like, uh, but yeah, just having someone here in this country, or like I even think of back to this stuff of what we did in Afghanistan and Iraq and the torture stuff in Abu Ghraib and all that, and um,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like uh, we can skirt the law and we can skirt the idea that all people are created equal. For because for whatever excuse that you want to make, I'm
Yeah.
wondering if there should be something in Article 3 where it's like, hey, this doesn't just apply to U.S. citizens. This,
Yeah.
like, where we
Applies to
specifically have
everyone.
to say that. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I agree. So liberalism is libertarianism. Libertarians believe in belief. Their belief in liberalism is pretty much core to their systems. Which and if you read what they wrote about the Constitution in and of itself is a very libertarian document. Is a very liberal document from that perspective. That you know all men you know created with the ability to
yeah,
pursue life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, all
yeah.
that stuff.
I mean, it starts with we the people.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
like
it's a very liberal document
I don't know how much
already.
more liberal you can get than that. Like,
Exactly. Conservatism is more of, in my opinion, it's, I understand it, but the fact that they say less government isn't true because, like you said, order and authority. No, they want to live under somebody's thumb. They want to be told what to do, how to do it, and then conform to that. You know, in my opinion,
yeah,
that's what you do to a submissive person.
yeah, or somebody that
You
doesn't want to take responsibility for their own actions. It's
correct.
like kids. To a certain extent. Where as they grow up, you slowly add on more and more responsibility. You let them make their own decisions, and trying to teach them how to be fully functioning adults to where they can make all of their own decisions.
Yes, which is really funny because conservatism, when you get to the order and authority part of this, most conservatives believe that they are the order and authority. They are the ones that are creating the order and authority, whether it's in their family or in their environment, until they have somebody that is above them, which usually that conservatism, the the authority that is above them eventually ends in God. God is the ultimate authority, whatever.
Hallelujah.
For conservative people, God or whatever deity they believe in, which is unfortunate because he doesn't talk to people. He doesn't.
Hey, that we know of.
Yeah, sure. He doesn't.
Hey, if you ask my mom and dad, he definitely
No,
does.
no. But I'm saying, like, supposedly he talked to humans who then wrote things down that has been interpreted for thousands of years and interpreted differently based on societal norms and languages and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, there's never any mistranslations when it's when it goes from language to language. So I mean,
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. So essentially what you have in conservatism is you have the ability of someone to say this amorphous thing, which is God, is the thing that has ultimate authority over me, and he tells me I can do this. So
mm,
screw, like, your laws don't mean anything to me
oh yeah, and then
because the ultimate authority has said I can do this.
yeah, and then
Which
that's how you end up in the medieval crusades, and the
all that stuff. Well,
people
that's how
being
you end
murdered
up
as
with, and
slaves.
I'm gonna correlate this to this how you end up with things like Gaza. That's how you end up
Yeah,
with things going on in the Middle East with the different religions.
mm,
They're whatever religion you want, they believe that their authority is higher or whatever than these other people, so they need to give them order and authority. By doing that, they mean kill them. So,
yeah.
anyways, socialism. Let's get to this one because we love socialism so much. So socialism, and the reason I did socialism before communism, because you're going to see a direct correlation here. Socialism is an economic and political system where the community or the government owns and controls the main parts of production and property, such as factories, farms, large tools. The main goal is to share wealth fairly and help everyone in society equally. So so shared ownership, factories, large businesses, natural resources belong to the public or the workers instead of private owners. Fair wealth, the system tries to close the gap between the rich and poor by sharing goods and services based on what people need or what work they do. The government or community provides key needs like healthcare, schools, and homes. So, state socialism, the center of the government owns and runs most of the businesses and sets prices. Democratic socialism, people vote for their leaders in a democracy while the government runs major services and controls big parts of the economy. So, you'll see here there's a little bit of a difference. Like the government owns these large parts of things to for the benefit of the people. The problem is with a lot of socialism, whenever you take people that are not doing it for the people and they're doing it for their own and their friends, socialism puts you into a place of corruption and people using the system
Yeah,
to enrich
abuse of power.
themselves, much like what we have going on right now.
Right.
So the interesting part is socialism, the government, the community or the government owns or controls the main parts of production and property. Communism is a political that aims for a classless society with public ownership of property and equal sharing of wealth. No private property. Factories, lands, major resources belong to the public or the state and not private business owners. No social classes. Everyone is equal. There is no rich or poor groups. Shared wealth, goods, and money are shared based on what people need, using the rule from each according to his ability to each according to his need. Theory, this is from Karl Marx. Believe workers would eventually rise up and take control of production from the wealthy business owners, making the government unnecessary over time. 20th large nations like the Soviet Union and China set up single party governments that took total control of the economy instead of letting the state disappear. These real world governments often led to strict rules, limits on personal freedoms, and major economic problems due to poor central planning. Again, people taking advantage of the power. And so that's the problem you
People be
run
people.
into with socialism and communism is people fear that you're going to get somebody in power that is going to take advantage of, sort of like what is going on now.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, when you look at it, the the state of the economy and the way things are, where you have these billionaires and now we're talking trillionaires that have so much power and resources, and like, how is that much different than handing the power over to an elected official, or to a king or a monarch or whatever it ends up being?
Exactly.
It doesn't. Um, other than the fact that it was a government, like, and you handed that power over, I could see maybe there could be more, like, because if you look at the Soviet Union, you look at China, right? The abuses of power uh, were and are pretty severe. Like, whereas I don't know if ju- and I'm sure some of those billionaires are probably doing some horrible shit on the side. Like, I mean, we all, but you know, or like, I'm just kind of thinking, like, if we did decide to go towards socialism or towards communism or whatever it ended up being, and then you turn over all those resources, all that stuff to the government, and then what, they just throw away the Bill of Rights. I mean, I don't know. I,
Yeah. No,
I
and I want to make it clear here that all these isms that we're talking about are different. Okay, so you take okay, would you consider capitalism and socialism to be the same type of thing?
Capitalism feels a little bit different to me just because it's an economic policy, not
Correct.
not something that manages not
A
necessarily talks about
political
the government.
policy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and this is an interesting part. If you look at this, and it states it in here, capitalism is an economic system. Communism is a political and economic system.
Yeah.
Socialism is a political and economic system. What do you think liberalism is?
A political system.
A political and moral philosophy.
Hmm.
Conservatism,
Excuse me.
sneeze.
Sorry.
It's a
Yeah.
sneeze. Okay.
Yeah. It's just,
So
mm,
conservatism is a political and social philosophy. So liberalism is political and moral. Conservatism is political and social, and progressivism is a political and social. So progressivism and conservatism are not economic philosophies. They are political and social. Liberalism is a little bit different because it is a moral philosophy and political versus social, which is really interesting. And then you have socialism, communism, which are both political and economic, and then capitalism, which is an economic, straight economic, not a political thing. But it's really funny how capitalism has become political. Oh well, we need a business owner to run our country because a business owner is going to be the best person to run our country like a business. But a
yeah.
government is not a business. When government starts being run like a business, you get what you have now,
Yeah.
which is not
Um.
what you want. So
I don't know. Well, I mean, because if you adopt like socialism or communism, I think you do have to run government like a business to a certain extent because you are responsible for the resources at that point. What were you going to say?
you're absolutely right. But capitalism does not.
Right. Agreed.
Capitalism is a free market, meaning that there is no
Yeah.
control from the government.
Yeah.
The people and companies can own the land, the businesses produce this stuff, and then depending the people are the ones that determine whether or not the business should fail or
Yeah.
whatever. So the problem with
But we
capitalism,
have so yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say the problem we have with capitalism right now is the government is making capitalism political by intervening in capitalism.
Yeah, by regulating certain markets, like saying that some businesses are too big to fail. I mean, I think somebody was telling me that um, I don't know if it was Anthropic or if it was OpenAI or somebody like where they said they were getting close to like bankruptcy. Well, it was one of the AI companies, and
Yeah,
the government basically came in and said, no, you guys can't shut down. You got to go get more money. You got to do this. You got
yeah.
like and and it's like
Well, no,
yeah.
and
So
that's a problem with this quote unquote capitalistic free market is you can't have that if politics is involved in it.
yeah,
Once
or
because
like the Big Short in 2008. Like the where they came in and they saved some companies. They made some companies buy out other companies, and it's like
yep,
this
you
market
can't
isn't feeling very free right now. Like,
exactly. And that's the whole thing about it is, and this is where you get the socialism part and of our government, the socialist part of the government, which is really funny because if we didn't have that socialist part of our government, we would not have farms.
yeah,
The main reason farms survive is because of our socialist government, because they get subsidies from our government to make food. And they wouldn't have those subsidies and they wouldn't be able to make food if they didn't get that money from the government. So capitalism in from that aspect, it's really funny. You have people shouting capitalism, capitalism, capitalism. Give me my money, give me my money.
yeah,
Capitalism, capitalism. Wait, no,
yeah,
give me my money, give me my money. And
yeah,
it's funny that you have people that say that capitalism is great and that's our society. No, 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 no. We have people getting government contracts, uh, from their friends, from people they know that are making a crap ton of money off of our taxpayer dollars. That's socialism. Sorry about your luck. Um, that's not capitalism. When the government can step in and say, "Hey, these banks, they did a bad thing, but we can't let them fail because we're going to have another Great Depression." Well, if we had an actual capitalist society, the government would be like, "Sorry about your luck, people.
Yeah.
Banks are going to fail. Your money's all gone. So that's what's funny to me about this stuff is, you could say in the famous words, have their cake and eat it too. Um, but hey, we want the government to not be involved in anything unless we need you to give us money.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we got off on that tangent. Anyways, oh, we
Well,
were
I
talking
did.
about
I
life,
did
liberty,
mention the
property.
2008 crash, so that's probably my fault.
No, it's all good. Anyways, back to this. That's always fun to get off on tangents. The judicial power shall be exercised only in the adjudication of actual cases and controversies. No court of the United States shall issue advisory opinions or render judgments in the absence of concrete dispute between adverse parties with a direct and personal stake in the outcome. Do we know what that means? Let's should we dumb it down?
Yeah. Yeah. We should.
This
Mm,
text is
I think I got
foundational
a pretty good
statement.
idea, but
The case or controversy derived from Article 3 of the Constitution, which limits federal courts to resolving real active disputes rather than issuing hypothetical legal advice.
yeah.
That's essentially what it is. We don't want
Yeah, or
hypothetical
like
stuff.
somebody suing another state or another business that was never actually harmed by they just don't like they don't like some policy that they implemented or something like that.
Exactly. And they're not being harmed by it. They have no skin in the game, as one would say.
Yeah.
Um, Judicial independence shall be preserved, but no judicial office shall be held for life. This Constitution shall be interpreted in accordance with its text, structure, and purposes, and in light of the principles of democratic self government, equal liberty, and the protection of fundamental rights it establishes. Which I think, like, the old Constitution didn't have anything like that. And so that left a lot more things open to interpretation and not taking into account the rest of the Constitution and the principles behind the Constitution, which you would think that the preamble establishes the principles of the Constitution, but unfortunately, people still rule not based on those principles. So we're just saying it again for you
For
know
funsies.
for funsies. And I think that this is the same thing that the libertarian Constitution did, because basically they said, the documents for the most part's the same, except we just put in there, no, this is what it says, and we mean it. Like,
Yeah.
just so you
Yeah,
know,
that's in the libertarian constitution quite
yeah,
often.
yeah, yeah, we mean it. We mean what we're saying in here.
Yeah.
This isn't for
We
laughs and
we need you to
ha-has.
follow these rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though you're not
So
right now, but if we rewrite them this way, then you'll follow them.
then you'll follow them exactly. Yeah. The Supreme Court shall consist of one justice from each federal judicial circuit. This is what we had talked about, because we had talked about doing the different amounts. We said
Yeah.
nine. Nine's okay. We'll just tie it to the federal judicial circuit. Makes it simple. If we need to get more because there's more people, we can do it. No person shall hold judicial office in the United States unless that person has been a citizen for 10 years. No person shall be appointed as a justice of the Supreme Court who has not attained the age of 35. An appointment and has not acquired not less, and so has acquired double negatives, has who has,
Basically, you gotta practice law for 10 years
yeah,
in some form or fashion.
10 years substantial professional legal experience within the geographic area encompassed by the judicial circuit from which the justice was appointed. So you can't be in one place like, oh, well, this judge is here for the next 16 years, so I'm going to go over here and try to get elected. No, you got to wait 10 years, be in that area for 10 years, so that you get the people from the different areas.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
Yeah, so you don't have 10 judges appointed from New York. You don't have 10 judges appointed from California or Florida or Arkansas. There's a variety from around the country. Such experience may include service in judicial, legal, academic, governmental, tribal, territorial, or public interest capacities. No qualification shall be imposed that has the purpose or effect of excluding otherwise qualified candidates based on ideology, faction affiliation, or lawful area of legal practice. So that's just getting your equality out of the way. Justices
Sure.
shall be appointed by the president and confirmed by the majority of the Senate. Each justice shall serve a single, non renewable term of 18 years. No person who has served as a justice of the Supreme Court, whether full or partial term, shall be eligible for reappointment to the Supreme Court. Terms shall be staggered so vacancy occur at regular intervals as evenly as possible. Congress may by law adjust the timing of initial staggered terms to achieve regular intervals. Now, now I did there is something in here that I'm just thinking of that I don't believe that is in here. There should be something stating the time frame from a vacancy to the appointment of a new one, because you can have it to where if it falls in a certain time, like we saw over the past what 12 years, to where
One president has
appointed
nominated like half the
five
appointees to the
judges,
Supreme Court.
4 or 5
Yeah,
judges, yeah.
or yeah, it's like 4 or 5.
So there might be something in there about the timing, like you can't, like if,
Well, I thought in the explanation section you put like that you were gonna that like stagger them, like do them
well
like
you
every
can
13,
stagger
just do
them
them every 2 years.
like every 2 years, but I mean, how long did they delay the appointment of somebody? I mean, they did it for I think it was over a year, didn't they?
What did they do that? Is that because the Senate was controlled by one party, and then they basically waited till they wouldn't they wouldn't sustain an appointment until the
Longest.
it was political maneuvering basically.
Yes.
So it almost
422 days following the death of Justice Anton Scalia in 2016.
and that was so that Trump could get into office, right?
Correct. Yep. President Barack Obama nominated Merrick Garland, but the Senate declined to hold hearings or a vote, leaving the seat open until Donald Trump's nominee Neil Gorsuch was confirmed.
Huh.
Yep. Yeah, there was.
Um.
Yeah, well, that wasn't the longest. The longest was 841 days. That was back in 1844. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Um.
But yeah, I mean that should be there. There should be something that it has to be. If the vacancy is during a certain presidential term,
Yeah,
that
that's
vacancy
what I'm
has to be
thinking.
filled during that presidential term.
Yeah. So I mean, if you stagger it, what did we say? 6 years for the president.
6 years for
One
the
term.
president. 2 years. Every 2 years would be a justice. I think it's every 2 years. 18
So that
years,
means
two
that
years.
what that every president gets 3 appointees, and
I
you're talking about
mean, does it
13
matter
judges.
because you're talking 13 judges?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm on the same
yeah.
page.
So three
Yeah,
appointees.
yeah, and that and then we just put something in there that those 3 appointees have to be appointed within that presidential term, and by the sitting president, not the income,
Okay.
not the incoming. So you don't have to have that dumb shit that that happens from time to time.
Vacancies must be filled from appointees of the current sitting president from or nominated appointees of the current sitting president when the vacancy occurs.
Yeah, and then you need a contingency plan in case one of them dies.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're only 18-year terms, so but I mean, even contingency planning. Well, this is if there's a vacancy, it must be filled from
Yeah,
nominated appointees during the current sitting president. So I mean, if you have 13 judges, even if you have two die, that's five judges. Like it's still not a
you're still not
majority.
getting a majority.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying like I think that should be fine.
yeah, I'm good with that.
I mean, I understand the problem there of saying like, oh well, the Senate has to be appointed, has to be nominated or appointed from the nominees of the president. That kind of hampers the Senate of saying, well, the president can appoint anybody, and
Yeah,
it's like, well, I mean, that's basically what's been happening.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's already happening,
He could
guys.
give us he could give us a bunch of hot garbage, but like that's what's going on anyways. So I mean,
Yeah, I don't think there's a
yeah.
way around that because
I mean, and basically both sides are appointing political activists to the Supreme Court, and it's like,
exactly.
what are we doing
I'm,
here?
I mean, unless there's a way that you could unless there's a way that you could say that the judge has to work their way up through the court, the circuit court systems based on
Mm,
whatever, but that's to be a nominee. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they have to get previous positions before they can be a nominee.
like the nominees have to come from the federal circuit court judges, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this
Mm,
just well, see, but then I don't agree with that because why can't a person that went into academia,
yeah,
if they're in legal
or
academia,
or has
constitution
practiced
law,
criminal law or what maybe
whatever,
not criminal law, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, no,
why should
I
they be?
agree. I was just throwing it out there for
No,
discussion.
no,
I
no,
wasn't
no.
saying this.
No, we're trying to solve a problem. We're trying to figure out, okay, how do you
Yeah,
make it to where, how do you put the guardrails up so you can't have someone that just says, oh, okay, well, yeah, here's my friend George. He's the only nominee and you have to fill the vacancy. So here you go.
yeah,
And then, okay, well, the Congress says, nope, sorry, that guy's not going. And then, okay, well, here's
I,
George.
yeah,
Sorry, you need to give us a different appointment. Nah, well, here's George.
yeah. Have you met George?
First time. Have you met George? Here's George. Like, so there's, we'll have to look at that. I'll have to see what we can come up with for that. But anyways,
Okay.
okay. Um, Single non-renewal terms shall be staggered. Congress by law adjust the timing. Yep. Should a justice fail to serve a full 18-year term by the reason of death, resignation, impeachment, disability, or other inability to perform the duties of office, President shall, with the advice and consent of the Senate, appoint a replacement to serve for the remainder of the unexpired term. No person appointed shall fill a partial term. No person appointed to fill a partial term shall be eligible for reappointment to the Supreme Court. After a term of office is expired, the justice whose term is expired may elect to sit on an inferior court during good behavior, which court shall be determined by the Chief Justice or as Congress shall by law direct. So basically, somebody has an 18-year term, and in the middle of their term, they die, they get impeached, they whatever.
Mm,
So a president says, "Hey, here's a whatever." They can only serve to the end of the term, and that takes your court packing out of it. They don't get a new 18-year term. They serve the
yeah,
rest of that term.
yeah, and that's all they get. I get
That's
what you're
all they
saying.
get. Um, in all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, and those which in a state shall be a party, Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction. All the cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, both as to law and fact, with such exceptions under such regulations as the Congress shall make, provided no exception shall deprive the courts of jurisdiction to review the constitutionality of any law or executive act. So basically, The Supreme Court has original jurisdiction over ambassadors, public ministers, consuls, those of which a state shall be a party. The Supreme Court has jurisdiction. Otherwise, they have appellate jurisdiction unless it has to do with the constitutionality of a law or executive act. Makes sense.
Agreed.
You have a problem with that? I don't think. I think that
No,
that's
I think that's pretty
yeah,
straightforward.
just about jurisdiction. Federal judicial circuits shall consist of a contiguous groups of whole states. Can't be split in states. No, just it's whole states. No circuit shall include non-contiguous states. You can't have Florida, Texas, Washington, Montana, and Maine as a circuit. No, 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 no. Trying to keep them in together in areas.
Exactly. Yeah.
No circuit shall include non-contiguous states or divide a single state between two or more circuits. Now, there was a clause in here that I took out that said Congress can, by law, split a state. I was like, no, that kind of defeats the purpose. You know, that they can split a state based on population, caseload, da 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 da, you know, all those things.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think that that's.
Yeah. Not when I think I understand your logic, and that is the idea that you have the federal government, then you have the states
Yeah.
over that, and so yeah, it just makes sense to keep
Yeah, no,
yeah
there's no
keep it
reason
all.
because then you get into all kinds of gerrymandering things, and I'm not looking for
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah, that too, and it's like um,
And
it'd
that's
be
why you
like
keep it
the
contiguous.
idea the idea of Northern California versus Southern California, or like the idea
Yeah,
that pretty much I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like other than the 4 or 5 major cities in the state, the California is a very red state, not by population, but by geography.
yeah,
Um, and but because most of the population is centered in San Francisco, Sacramento, San Diego,
exactly.
um,
Oh yeah,
L.A. Um, that's why it ends up being a very liberal state, and that upsets a lot of people.
oh
Um,
yeah. Well, I mean that upsets people in all the states because your
yeah,
cities are normally liberal and
yeah,
your I don't want to say countries, but your rural is more conservative.
yeah,
That's just across the board.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I live in a very conservative city with 80,000 people in it, but it is very conservative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just look at Utah. I mean, their largest city is mainly Mormons.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
But I think
that's
like I think the entire state I think is almost like I think it's still like 50% LDS. Like
yeah,
if you pulled them and asked them, yeah,
yeah,
that's
because
crazy.
nobody wants to live there.
Yeah,
Nobody
I don't know.
actually wants to live
My
in Utah.
my brother does for some reason. I don't get it.
Uh, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's beautiful places there, but it's like
There
saying you want
is.
to live in Arizona. You know, you want to live in the middle of a desert. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
like
and it is a desert at the end of the
it's,
day.
it's what it is.
It's a high desert. It's like 5,000 feet, but it's
Yeah,
still desert.
still desert. Um, okay, so or divide a single state between two or more circuits. Circuits shall be established and altered by law only as necessary to ensure the fair and efficient administration of justice, and shall be based primarily on population balance, geographic coherence, and caseload. Number of federal judicial circuits should not be reduced below 13. No more than one justice shall be appointed from any of the same judicial circuit at any given time. Circuits shall not be created, merged, dissolved, or modified for the purpose of effective advantaging or disadvantaging any political party, faction, ideology, or incumbent. Any law establishing, merging, dissolving, or modifying a judicial circuit shall be subject to judicial review for compliance with this clause. When a new judicial circuit is established, pursuant to this section, one additional justice shall be appointed to the Supreme Court from that circuit. When circuits are merged, the affected justice shall serve the remainder of their term. No justice shall be removed midterm. The number of Supreme Court justices shall at all times equal the number of federal judicial circuits. Congress shall conduct a decennial review of circuit boundaries following the census with any modification subject to the criteria of judicial review and requirement of this clause. Any proposal to create, merge, dissolve, or modify a circuit must be accompanied by a published report demonstrating compliance with the criteria in the section, including population data, caseload analysis, and geographic coherence assessment.
You got real specific on that one. Decennial, what is that? Is that
10
by
years.
every 50 years? Oh no, it's 10 years.
10 years.
Okay.
Decennial deck. Every 10 years. After
Yeah.
following the census. Census is every 10 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I feel like that other than the fact that districts, representative districts are regulated by the state, I feel like that this type of, this type of clause should be somewhere about, to reduce the ability of gerrymandering.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's the thing we want
Yeah.
to prevent. I mean, look, there's three clear reasons for creating a new circuit or merging or whatever. A minimum of 13. And if you need more, you have a clear path to figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, it's because of a need, not because of, hey, we want to put 10 more justices on the court.
I mean, like going back to your splitting the state idea? I was thinking about it. I wonder, could you do it strictly by population and just say, hey, if a state hits a certain threshold, it has to be split into two districts? Like,
Well, that
and
was that was the whole thing of like having the Congress by law can split a state based on these criteria: population
yeah,
data, caseload, and geographic coherence. So if you had like California, split California between, Washington, Oregon, and whatever, and then Arizona and Nevada and all that, like if it made sense to split it because of the population. But, at that point, I was kind of like, but then people are going to do something like you open up the door for people like, oh, well, we can split West Virginia and we can split this
yeah.
because, and then you have like every state is split in half because you're trying to make these districts of whatever. No, no,
Well,
no,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you made it like a hard rule based on population, like if it because
no,
I'm just
because
thinking like
again,
at some point. Go
if
ahead.
you made it on population, you could carve out cities. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I'm saying like
And
like
you're
if you
only
needed
talking
to
about
split it in
for
half into its own district, like because California has 38 million people. Like at some point
yeah.
you're looking at that and you're like, okay, hey, is that too many for one? Is that too many people for one federal district? I'm talking just specifically that, and then
No,
there would
I
be
don't
some
think
hard and
so.
fast rules where it was like,
I mean,
where it's
eventually
like,
maybe it becomes its own district, but
yeah,
I mean, the only purpose that you would want to split that is to join it with other ones so
okay,
that you could get
I see what you're saying.
representation from those other, like,
Yeah,
again, it would be one of those things like, oh, okay, so Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, like, wait a second. Let's look at
I
this.
get what you're saying. I do like to where, yeah. You're splitting the top half of California, the bottom half. So, the bottom half goes with like New Mexico and Arizona and Nevada.
Yeah. So I mean, this is what you're looking at right now is what there is, right? So if like this whole area over here includes Alaska, Hawaii, Guam, like the whole West Coast essentially. So like if they wanted to do something, it's like, oh, okay, well, instead of having one judge from these quote unquote conservative states, we can split California in half and we can put Nevada, Utah, Arizona with this, and then the top half
Yeah.
of California with Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Montana. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I feel you.
I don't find that there is a good enough reason to say, oh, we need to split a state other than, okay, well, what we want to do is we want to split Pennsylvania, like Delaware, Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, like New York City and Connecticut, and make that one district, and then have West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Hampshire, and that way we can have a conservative judge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't,
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, no, you're going to do it by states. Sure, connect all of your, like, yeah, okay, so here's a conservative judge, here's a conservative judge. Here you have a conservative judge. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're
Yeah.
this is a conservative judge. This is probably conservative. You might get a liberal over here. You might get someone from Montana. You don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me to split it up. Like, look,
Well,
they're going to
and
find a way to get
aren't
around
the
it
federal
and
district
gerrymander it.
aren't the federal district judges, aren't they appointed by the president anyways?
I think they are. I think they are
Yeah, I think they are too.
the circuits. Maybe not. Nominated by the president and confirmed with the advice and consent of the U.S. Senate, serving lifetime appointments under Article 3 of the Constitution. Again, lifetime appointments.
Mm. So I guess we got to add that in there.
Oh, I already. I mean, that's some of the judges that they're putting up now. Like, they were asking, what was it? They were asking the judge, you know, who won the 2020 election, and they're like, according to the official count and authorized by the Senate, Joe Biden was officially sworn in as president, and it's like who won the election? According to the Senate vote and count of the electors, it's like it's like,
What are we
so
doing
you
here?
can't say. And then, like, the other judges that were appointed, like, yes, I agree with the statement that such and such did. I have the same. I have the same statement. I agree with what he said. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
Oh
Based
man.
on Congress's vote and certification of, like, okay. Um,
That kind of reminds me of the when Bill Clinton went and testified
exactly.
before the was it the Senate or whatever, and then he asked what the definition of the word is like
Well, I mean, the funny thing
that was
is he
awesome.
he was a lawyer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like
Like, you're putting a lawyer on the stand in his own case
yeah,
against him.
yeah,
Anyways, all right. Congress shall determine the number of judges to sit in each of the inferior courts, provided that any diminution of in number shall be effectuated by attrition, and any increase in the number shall be effectuated by the addition of no more than one new seat in any court every 2 years. Justices of the Supreme Court shall be subject to impeachment and removal pursuant to the procedures and grounds established in Article 1 for all federal officers. So they ain't safe from the people. Sort of like where they are now. No, 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 no. The people still have the final rule.
yeah.
Congress may, from time to time, ordain and establish inferior courts as necessary for the administration of justice. No person shall hold judicial office in an inferior court who has not attained 30 years, been a citizen for 10 years, and acquired 10 years of substantial professional legal
Legal.
experience. Any discrimination section of 2 shall apply equally to inferior judges. No judges shall serve for terms of not less than 10 years and not more than 18 years as provided by law. So you cap it at 18 years. Congress can
Yeah,
determine, but a minimum of 10 years, no more than 18.
and they're non-renewable.
Do what?
The terms are non-renewable.
Non renewable. Yep. Can't do it
I like
multiple
that.
times. No person who has complete.
Can't go district court hopping. You know, you can't go from one to the other. Okay.
Um, no person who has completed a term of service in any inferior court shall be appointed to the same court.
Oh, should they be able to if
A
but
different court,
but
maybe.
yeah, but then if it's in a different district, they got to go there and practice law for 10 years anyways, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, never mind then. Like
Yep.
so it doesn't apply.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
loophole I'm
yeah,
thinking of
it
doesn't
can
apply.
apply. They could
I
they
mean,
could get done their
but dude,
thing,
like
move.
yeah, but yeah, yeah. If you go to a different district and you move there and then you practice law for 10 years, like you then you can be a federal district court in that
Ex-
a judge in that district. Like
exactly.
I
Well,
think
well, I mean, you could a judge could finish their term, decide to go into academia at a college that's in a different
yeah,
district, practice academia for 10 years in that area,
yeah,
and then get appointed.
yeah, and I'd be good with that.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I mean,
Yeah,
you figure,
the thing I was worried about is that like okay, hey, you do your 18, you do your 10 to 18 years or whatever, and then as soon as you get done with that, you get appointed to a different circuit
yeah,
court. And
no,
but we already put in guardrails for
yeah.
that, so it
So by the
matter.
time they get done with, okay, so they get appointed by a president, right? They're nominated and
Yeah,
appointed by a president. That president's term is well over,
yeah,
but they're not there for life. They can go to another district and get appointed by another president 20 years later or
yeah,
30 years later. The compensation of judges and this is a most people would be like, why is this here? The compensation of judges and justices of the United States shall not be diminished during their term of service. You can't lower their pay. But then also this, the real value of such compensation shall not be diminished during their continuance in office, adjusted for inflation. The real
yeah,
value of that, like, they shouldn't be stuck for 18 years on pay that never changes.
yeah.
Judges of the inferior court shall be subject to impeachment and removal pursuant to the procedures and grounds established for Article 1 for all federal officers. So not only can you do the Supreme Court, you can also do inferior courts. The people can bring um,
Nice.
removal proceedings against them. Judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States. So this gets into a lot of the things, but this section 4 also has our this part right here, federal and state immunity. It's an important part. So and so let's see. Arising on this country, the laws of the United States and treaties made which shall be made under their authority to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, consuls, all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, between a state and persons, between a tribal government and citizens of that tribe, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants of different states, between a state or citizens of thereof and foreign states, citizens, or subjects.
It's a lot.
We got to make sure we cover all the bases.
Yeah.
Judicial power
Okay.
shall extend to cases brought by taxpayers to challenge the unlawful expenditure of public funds. That's a big one. Any
That's a
citizen
shoot.
shall have standing to bring suit in federal court to challenge any law, regulation, or government action alleged to violate the rights and prohibitions set forth in this Constitution. Gives the people a means of recourse for holding the government accountable.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know.
I like it.
I don't know what they're going to get out of it, but they can take them to court.
Yeah.
No standing shall be denied on the grounds that a plaintiff has not suffered a unique or individualized injury distinct from that of the general public, provided the claim alleges a violation of fundamental right or structural limitation on power. In cases in which an ambassador, other public minister, tribal government, the United States is a party, federal courts have exclusive jurisdiction. In controversies between two or more states, the Supreme Court shall have exclusive jurisdiction. So if it's between states, Supreme Court
Yeah,
is where they
goes
go.
straight to the Supreme Court.
Yep.
Nobody
And
nobody else can hear the case.
nope. Other cases and controversies to which the federal judicial powers extend, Congress may regulate the respective jurisdictions of state and federal courts. The Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction in all cases from inferior courts of the United States and in cases from state courts involving this Constitution, laws made in pursuance thereof, and or treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States. Neither the United States nor any state shall enjoy immunity from suits in the courts of the United States. Suits against the United States or any state shall be subject to the judicial remedies and limits established in Section 7. Whew. Man, it's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is where all those legal all that legal stuff comes in, right?
yeah, seems that way.
Okay, so that's mainly, the people suing and or bringing a case against states or states bringing a case against, whatever. In the trial of all crimes, except cases of impeachment, shall be by jury. And such trial shall be held in the state where the said crimes should have been committed. But when not committed within any state, the trial shall be at a such place or places as Congress may by law have directed. I don't think I need to explain that, right?
I think you're good. I mean, you don't need to explain to me.
Yeah. In suits at common law where the value of the controversy shall exceed the threshold amount, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved. The threshold amount shall be equal to the median household income of the United States as determined by the Census Bureau, rounded up to the nearest $10,000, and shall be adjusted every 5 years based on the most recent Census Bureau data. That might need to be adjusted to 10 years, but
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Since the census only comes around every 10 years.
yeah, I think 10. Either party may request a jury trial. If both parties waive in writing, the case shall be tried in a court without a jury. No fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of common law. In civil actions where the value of the controversy does not exceed the threshold amount established in the section, Congress shall, by law, provide for streamlined proceedings, which may include simplified bench trials, small claims proceedings, or alternative dispute resolution mechanisms to ensure access to justice without the cost and formality of jury proceedings. Congress may, by law, establish specialized adjudicative
Exactly. Adjudicative.
there you go. I was saying it in my head, adjudicative
Yeah.
bodies for matters requiring technical expertise, including but not limited to antitrust, securities regulations, patent law, and environmental law, provided that such bodies remain subject to the intelligible principle requirement established by this Constitution, and their decisions shall be subject to judicial review by the courts of the United States. So this is your special courts, antitrust, securities, patent, those types of things. No order of the Supreme Court granting, denying, or modifying a stay, injunction, or other preliminary relief shall issue without a written statement of reasons signed by the justices in the majority and accompanied by any concurring or dissenting views. So this is your the Supreme Court can't order back office stuff. You know what I mean? They can't just issue something without everybody.
Makes sense.
Orders shall be published contemporaneously with their issuance. The Supreme Court shall not grant a stay of lower court or injunction unless the applicant demonstrates a substantial likelihood of success on the merits. The applicant okay. So basically what this part is you can't order a stay on things without, like, just because. So, the president can't come in and have one of his buddies, hey, can you issue a stay on this so that I can get this stuff done? No. Stays consistent with the public interest. The lower court has a reasonable opportunity to consider the merits of underlying dispute unless the court finds in written statement signed by at least 2/3 of the justices that immediate and irreparable harm to constitutional governments requires action before the lower court can act. So that's the only way that the Supreme Court can step in and put a stay or whatever on an order, is 2/3 justices have to agree to it. So That prevents
I think that's
your,
reasonable, especially when yeah, for 13 judges. Yeah.
yeah. No stay or injunction issued by the Supreme Court without full briefing and oral argument shall remain in effect for more than 90 days. I was thinking 30. 30? You think 90 days, 3 months is too much?
Yeah, I think so. In today's world, yeah. A lot can happen in 90 days.
Exactly. As we've seen.
Yeah.
You can have a war in 90 days and still not, yeah.
Yeah, you can decimate a nation state in 90 days.
If the court has not resolved the underlying case on the merits within that period, the stay shall dissolve unless renewed upon written findings demonstrating continued necessity. No stay shall be renewed more than once without merits resolution. No order issued without full briefing, oral argument, and written opinion shall be cited as precedent or given preclusive effect in any court of the United States. This is important. You can't just issue a stay and then use that as precedent. We don't want that.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. Because one
Uh,
judge issuing a stay that doesn't mean shit.
you can't say, oh, well, this judge did this, so we should be able to do a stay. You're like, no, 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 no. It's not precedence. Courts of the U.S. shall have the authority to interpret the Constitution, to adjudicate cases arising under it, and to invalidate laws or executive acts that violate its provisions. This is interesting. I liked this, so it's kind of why I wanted it in here. No court shall recognize any doctrine of absolute or presumptive criminal immunity based on public office, which directly goes against a Supreme Court ruling.
The presidential powers doctrine or whatever it's called, like, or
That they have immunity on official acts.
yeah. Hmm.
Any shall recognize any doctrine of absolute or presumptive criminal immunity based on public office. Yep, nope, sorry. Failure to discharge an affirmative constitutional duty may be addressed by the courts only where such failure is sustained, unjustified, and results in the systematic denial of a right secured by this Constitution. In such cases, courts may require the responsible authority to adopt and implement a remedial plan reasonably directed toward constitutional compliance, but shall not prescribe the substantive policy choices, statutory text, or appropriations by which compliance is achieved. So they can say it's wrong, they can say that you're not in compliance, but they cannot say what you need to do to be in compliance
Okay.
because they shouldn't be the ones. They should just say whether or not it's legal, right? They should say this
Yeah.
is in compliance. Oh well, if you do this, this,
Or
this,
this is
then it would be in
constitutional.
compliance. Not their
Yeah.
job. Not their job. Where this Constitution imposes an affirmative duty upon Congress or other public authority, and a court of competent jurisdiction determines that a sustained failure to discharge such duty has resulted in denial of rights secured within the means of the section, the court may grant appropriate declaratory and equitable relief. Judicial remedies under this Constitution may be limited to declarations of constitutional violation, orders requiring the adoption, publication, or implication of a remedial plan, the setting of reasonable deadlines for compliance, and the imposition of reporting, transparency, or monitoring requirements and such other structural relief as necessary to secure constitutional compliance. Now, this is what we talked about. How are they going to enforce it? How are they going to enforce their things that, hey, you're not in compliance. You need to cease. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Stop me.
Right.
So we need that's still something that's a little maybe you can have a conversation with someone about that.
With who? No.
I don't know. You pick.
I mean, thinking about it off the top of my head, the whole idea should be that, hey, um, going back to what is it? John Adams thing, a civic duty. I know that's not the right word, but um,
Responsibility.
yeah, where we should have people in power that are supposed to be the best of us, and they love this country, they love the Constitution, they love the freedom that it brings people, and they should want to protect that.
Yeah.
And so there shouldn't be anyone in office that's looking at the Supreme Court and saying from whatever perspective, whether it's political, ego, pick a reason, that they should be like, nah, like I know what the Supreme Court said, but screw that. Like I'm just gonna do what I want anyways. But I mean that's where we're at right now. So uh, I don't. Should I put the camera down a little bit? Um,
No, I just
okay.
noticed. I just noticed that
Yeah, I was a little cut off.
our well no, our cameras in general. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Um.
Sorry, I did not
No,
see
no,
that
no.
until just now. Go ahead.
I gotta drop mine down a little based on the way yours is looking. Give me a second. But yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. So it's like, so do you write the Constitution for where we are now, or um,
I'll have to mess with that after.
yeah, do you write the Constitution for where we are now, like and what's going on, or do you write it for the people with the best intentions? Like, do you put this is this guardrail? I guess the question I'm asking is this guardrail important enough to enshrine in the Constitution?
The law for enforcement. Now that
Yeah,
was judicial remedies under the shall be limited to declaration of constitutional violation. Okay, so they've declared that somebody is in violation of Constitution. Orders requiring the adoption, publication, or implementation of a remedial plan. Okay, the setting of reasonable deadlines for compliance, imposition of reporting, transparency, and monitoring requirements, and other such structural relief as necessary to secure constitutional compliance. So they have they list here their means of requiring compliance, but how does it get enforced? I mean, the only thing, like, if it comes back to it, then Congress would have to do something. Would be my thought.
yeah.
Like, I
In my head for a second, I was like, okay, maybe you put in some hard line where you say, hey, if anybody in the federal government disobeys the direct orders of the Supreme Court, it's immediately you go to impeachment. You are impeached. Do not pass go.
yeah.
Do not collect $200. But then again, who decides? Like who's the deciding factor there as far as whether or not you've actually willfully disobeyed a Supreme Court order?
Well, I wonder, do we have, when it comes for acts for impeachment of an official? I wonder if we have. I don't know if we. Well, I'll have to look at adding something. Let's see. We're on section 7. Um, or in, um, willfully willful of
Disobedience and
Supreme
disregard of that.
Court decision.
Yeah, ruling
Supreme
decision.
Court ruling is going to be better. Yeah. So basically, if you don't comply, you have there. That is a reason for impeachment,
Yeah.
no matter who
And
you
like I
are.
said, I,
It,
I would I wouldn't even kick that to a deciding body. It's like, no, hey, you're impeached and you're going to go before the Senate and you're going to testify about why you disobeyed the Supreme Court's order.
yeah, and then it's going to be voted on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But the
hearing.
lever, I'm concerned about the lever or mechanism that's gonna kick that process off. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, yeah, no, I mean,
Somebody
I
abusing
think
that.
that the time frame, like if the court sets a reasonable time of, hey, you need to comply with this within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is, and you don't,
Yeah.
then a bench warrant is put out for, like, if you're in federal office like this, and this only applies to federal. So you're then a Senate impeachment hearing would be, if you do not comply, you're
It's like a version
automatically.
of contempt of court.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're automatically impeached.
Yeah.
Like you don't we don't need to get approval from the House. It's
Yeah.
an automatic impeachment, and you go right to the hearing, the criminal hearing, or what? Well,
Yeah.
not the criminal, but the impeachment
Yeah. The impeachment hearing in the Senate.
automatic. Because if you're not following, if you're in direct violation of the Constitution and you don't remediate what you've been told within the time you've been told, then you're no longer, in my opinion, you're no longer acting upon your civil, what do we say?
Responsibility. I
Responsibility.
forget what John Adams said.
Yeah.
I'll look it up now.
So reason for impeachment, willful disregard Supreme Court ruling. Okay, federal officer. Okay, wait a second. Willful disregard of Supreme Court ruling. Disregard violation. Automatic impeachment. Hearing set for Senate vote for removal. Like you bypass the need for the House to vote on it because the Supreme Court has said, "Hey, you're directly in violation of the Constitution." Okay, I need to close all these tabs. Okay, I like
Civic
that.
virtue.
Civic virtue.
Civic virtue. That was going to bug me.
Yeah, it's so no, I like that, and I'll have to add that in here somewhere. Um, No court shall prescribe the specific substantive policy, statutory language, funding level, or a programmatic design by which Congress or another public authority must comply, except where this Constitution itself specifies such substance. In granting relief, courts shall afford the political branches primary discretion as to the means of compliance consistent with the protection of constitutional rights. Courts may retain jurisdiction to ensure compliance with their orders, but shall dissolve such jurisdiction once good faith compliance is achieved. Judicial relief under the Constitution shall be guided by principles of necessity, proportionality, and institutional restraint, and shall not extend beyond what is required to remedy the constitutional violation. I'm kind of
That's a lot of
interested.
words.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested what sets forth a principle of judicial restraint and separation of powers, restricting courts from dictating specific policy choices, funding levels, or statutory language to Congress or administrative authorities. Key principles: remedial limits. Courts cannot prescribe specific policies, text, budgets, or program designs unless Congress explicitly requires it. When fixing constitutional violation, courts must leave specific implementation choices to the legislative and executive branches. Makes sense. Jurisdiction termination. Courts may oversee compliance with their orders, but must end that oversight once good faith compliance ends or once it happens. And judicial relief must remain limited strictly to what is necessary to fix the constitutional violation, avoiding broad oversight. Yeah, I agree to that. Once it's
Yeah.
done, then
Same.
you know they can't tell them what to do to fix it. They just say that what you're doing is a violation, so you need to change what you're doing.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. This is in direct violation. You need to change this. And then if they change it, and then they made a good faith effort to change it, then well, there's no reason to look at it anymore until somebody says, "Hey, they changed it. It's still in violation." They bring it back to the court, and that goes through the same process.
Yeah.
It's
Which all like when you said that, it feels like a little bit of a loophole to me, but
No, I agree, but if they're looking at it, it's like, hey, you've taken this part is the violation of the violation of the constitutional rights. Okay, well, we've done this to remediate that. It's no longer doing that. It's doing something else now, but it's no longer doing the thing that you said violates the Constitution. So we've remediated what you said. Okay, cool. I mean, it's not like you don't. It's not one of those things. Okay, we remediated what you said was a constitutional violation. You don't go. The court doesn't go. Okay, well, let me see what you came up with. Let me see if this is in violation. No, nobody brought up a case against that. So why would the
Yeah, I get
Supreme
what you're saying.
Court doesn't sit there and go, okay, well, let me look at what you're doing and make sure it's not in violation. It
Yeah,
hears people's grievances or a case against that violation. It doesn't regulate what is being made, right?
yeah, yeah. I like.
Boy,
No,
cameras are
I'm
flashing.
just thinking in a super. I just throwing out a really facetious example where, let's say somebody decides that they're not going to let black people into their store, and then the
I
Supreme
mean,
Court then
it's their property, it's their right.
let can we stick with one argument, like like the what we're talking about specifically here, and then um and then they come back. They say that a black person takes them to court, to get um, uh, sues them over it, and then they change the policy. Well, I'm not going to let Asian people into my store. Like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, then they would have to bring another case of discrimination.
Yeah, I know. I mean that to me on its face is just irritating, but I get
And
why
then no,
I get why it's being done that
well then what the court would do, because then it becomes a litigious you know, like you're doing this on whatever, and that doesn't seem like a good faith.
way. No,
Like the judge is essentially going to go, okay, wait a second, you were just here because you didn't let these people in, and now you're not letting these people. You didn't learn the first time. Okay,
right,
here I got this book up here. You need to become intimately familiar with this book. Watch me throw it at you.
right.
No, but I mean, again, on those things, hey, capitalist society, it gets out enough to where these people don't want to let certain people in. They lose business. It's what
I
happened
agree.
to.
I wouldn't show up to a
That's
business
what
that
I'm
said,
saying.
like, yeah,
And but there's already laws based on discrimination and stuff like
sure.
that certain things, but there are private organizations that only allow certain types of people that meet certain requirements into their organizations.
Well, yeah, like men's only country clubs, stuff like that. Like,
I mean, there's a lot of different things, but yeah. So, but it's a private club, so you can't, until they try to do something publicly to where
yeah,
they start infringing on other people's rights. But it's a private club; they can say who and who can't come in,
yeah,
like based on their
right, yeah.
charter or rules. And
It's
that's
like
just
keeping
like you,
people out of your treehouse, like
yeah.
same idea.
It's um, the He-Man Woman Haters Club, right?
Right.
Um,
That was a good movie.
it was, and then you're talking about a business, private property. They can refuse service to anyone that they want to refuse service to, based on
Except
whatever
based on
reason, as long as it's not a reason that's going to get you in
well,
trouble.
yeah, it's not covered in EEO, and then what's the other one is you know
ADA, the
yeah,
ADA, you can't
and
you
then
can't
yeah, a
deny
few other ones.
deny service. Like there's a bunch of things that you can't deny service on,
Yeah,
but
you can't deny
again,
service based on what race, sex, nationality, like, and yeah, could go down the list.
a bunch of things. Um,
Yeah. Mm.
but again, one of those things is, I mean, you're just talking about societal suicide. If it's
I
like the
mean, yeah,
whole it's the whole
yeah,
cake decorator not wanting to put two men on a cake.
yeah,
It's like, okay, cool. Well, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like you're an
right.
idiot. Okay,
Yeah.
we have the right to not
You just
go
lost
to
20,
you.
like 20-30% of your market share, but okay, cool.
I
Like,
mean, yeah,
and and
that's
then and then anybody that's actually uh, a friend or whatever you want to call it, then
oh yeah,
they're not gonna frequent your business.
that's what I'm saying.
Hey,
Like
but dude,
that's
like, hey,
capitalism. That's
yeah,
capitalism.
yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, that's
Yeah,
what that
and
is.
and if that's your religion and that's what you feel like you need to stand up for, I say, hey,
Go
go for
for
it.
it. Go
Yeah,
for it. You know,
yeah,
you you cater to whoever you want to. You're a private
yeah.
business. Um, Okay, so let's see. Courts for okay, so this no court shall prescribe substantive polity shall prescribe the specific substantive policy, statutory language, funding level, or a programmatic design by which Congress or another public authority must comply, except where this Constitution itself specifies with substance. In granting relief, courts shall afford the political branches primary discretion as to the means of compliance consistent with the protection of constitutional rights. Courts may retain jurisdiction to ensure compliance with their orders, shall dissolve once good faith judicial. Did I already read this?
Yes.
Judicial relief shall be guided by principles of
Yeah, this is what we just
necessity,
went over.
proportionality, and institutional restraint, and shall not. Yeah, I already read that. Okay. No court shall issue. Okay, so no court shall issue nationwide or non party injunctive relief absent a finding that narrower relief would be insufficient to remedy the constitutional violation. Okay, this has actually been a this has been a thing, where like a state circuit court can issue an injunctive, like across the nation. Like you can, like some lower court in Louisiana can't rule that hey, nobody in the US can now do this because this is, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
this just came up. This just happened not too long ago.
What was the
Where a
case
court
about?
has de- where a court has determined
How,
the existence of sustained, unjustified, and systematic denial of a right secured by this Constitution, and the responsible authority has failed to implement a constitutionally sufficient remedial plan within the period described by the court, any statutory fallback mechanism enacted by law for that purpose shall take effect according to its terms and shall remain in force until superseded by a compliant legislation. Congress may provide by law for such fallback mechanisms in advance, which shall be designed to ensure the constitutionally sufficient exercise of the right at issue in the absence of compliant legislation. Where no such mechanism exists or where the mechanism provided is insufficient to ensure the constitutionally required exercise of the right, the court may require the responsible authority to enact a constitutionally sufficient fallback mechanism within a sufficient period. So I think that this is new. So let's see what this says. Outlines a
okay.
proposed legal standard that restricts courts from issuing nationwide injunctions while establishing a structured process for statutory fallback mechanisms to remedy systemic constitutional violations. Yep. Restriction on universal relief. Hey, no court may issue a nationwide or non party universal injunctions unless it explicitly finds that there's no other way for the remedy to happen.
Is this in response to like all the federal district courts, like when all the stuff was going on with Trump, like where they were making nationwide rulings? Yeah.
Yep.
And throwing out like all these different injunctions. Okay, yeah, makes
Yep.
sense.
Basically, you can't have a state court or whatever court or this court put nationwide enforce nationwide injunctions across
Yeah,
stuff unless there is no way to
narrow the scope.
provide that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Congress can do the statutory fallbacks. So, and then Congress has the ability to create those statutory fallbacks. But if Congress fails to do that, the court can compel the authority to enact a compliant fallback within a specified time frame. So, all right, man, that was a lot. All right, Section 8. We're almost done. We got one more section or two more sections here, and this one's easy. This is just what treason is. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. The Congress shall have the power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood, or forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. Basically, hey, this is what treason is. You got to have two witnesses for the same act or a confession in court, and then you can declare punishment of treason, but you can't do it on their family line.
yeah.
It's only to the
You can only
person.
you can only punish the person. You can't punish
Yeah,
their family. Yeah.
correct. Yep. Upon ratification of this article, okay, so this is just, hey, we once this is sort of if we do this in this new constitution, what are our steps from, if we with the current infrastructure, how do we transition? Upon ratification of the article, the terms of all justices then serving in the Supreme Court shall be subject to the 18-year term limit. The prior service of each sitting justice shall count towards the 18-year maximum. Justice with the longest cumulative tenure shall be the first, whose term expires under the system, followed by the next longest tenured justice, and so forth, such that vacancies occur at regular intervals as evenly as practicable. Congress shall by law assign specific expiration dates to the terms of sitting justices to achieve regular intervals, commencing with the longest tenured justice. The first expiration shall occur no later than 2 years following the ratification. No sitting justice shall have their term extend beyond 18 years of service. If a sitting justice prior service already exceeds 18 years, their term shall expire no later than 1 year following ratification, providing a reasonable transition period. As each transitional vacancy occurs, the president shall appoint a new justice with the advice and consent of the Senate. To serve a full 18-year term under the staggered schedule established by Congress, the appointee shall be selected from the judicial circuit of the departing justice, unless that circuit no longer exists, in which case the appointee shall be selected from the circuit designated by Congress. Da, 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 da. Judges of the inferior courts serving at the time of ratification shall serve out the remainder of their existing appointments. Upon the conclusion of their current term or appointment, all subsequent appointments shall conform to the terms, qualifications, or non-renewability requirements established by this article. So your inferior courts, they have life terms. They're going to serve out the rest of them, but any new ones will adhere to this. Congress shall, within 180 days of ratification, establish law, the initial federal judicial circuits in compliance with the criteria set forth. Until such law takes effect, the existing federal judicial circuits shall remain in effect, and the number of Supreme Court justices shall remain unchanged. Upon establishment of the new circuits, the number of justices shall be adjusted to equal the number of circuits in accordance with Section 2. With the new justices appointed, I don't know why there's extra periods in here. With new justices appointed to fill any additional seats and existing justices whose circuits are dissolved, reassigned. So this is all just, hey, how do we get to where we're going? All
Yeah.
cases pending before the courts at the time of ratification shall continue without interruptions. No decision rendered prior to ratification shall be vacated solely by virtue of changes to judicial structure established by this article. Boy, that was a lot. I need a drink. Maybe not just water. Man, something's going on with my camera.
Yeah, it's like the Zoom or something. Because yeah, mine's super zoomed in too. I had to push it down just to get my whole face in it.
Yeah. After the stream, I'll go fix it. You just have to stick around for a minute so that we can
Yeah, no worries.
get it. But no. So, do you have? I mean, I know we've done thoughts on a couple things. We have to have a way to enact certain things, and then vacancies must be filled with the current sitting president. A way to make it to where they can't delay.
Mm.
So those are two things that we need to look at. But outside of that, did you have any thoughts? I know that we had, the enforcement arm. I don't know that we need that.
Yeah, I, I like the impeachment thing on its face. I mean, I'm sure there's some loophole that or some edge case that I'm not thinking of that somebody's going to try and abuse. But
Oh yeah,
um,
13 judges. Replacing 3 per your term. I mean, that's not going to give you a thing. I mean, even if multiple die, once we get into the 18 term thing, I don't think that we're going to have
yeah,
90-year-old judges.
yeah, probably not. Um, the only other thing that just popped into my head that I've been thinking about is do we vacate legal precedents upon like if let's say this thing actually ever gets ratified, like which I'm not. Um, do we do a do over on legal precedents? You know what I'm saying? To a
Well, I
certain
mean,
extent.
there's going to be some legal precedents that doesn't apply because the Constitution's different. So any
Yeah.
constitutional legal precedence is
So basically, any precedence is up for grabs. Like it's up for re-adjudication.
Yeah, because based on new laws that are established, based on the new constitution, like whatever legal precedents you had before, like the whole thing about the legal precedents of not being able to sue a state, they're gone. I
Yeah.
mean, it specifically says that the states are no longer immune.
Yeah.
So that
All
that
right.
legal precedent don't mean jack.
Sure.
I mean, you can't do that. So yeah, there is. I don't know that you would go and say there's going to be a full like, hey, legal precedent doesn't matter anymore. I think that there's still some things that should,
Yeah.
um, but you can, you know, you're going to have people from that perspective that are going to look at the new constitution and say, hey, legal precedent doesn't matter because this is in direct violation of this on the new
Yeah.
constitution. So, and I mean, they go with that. Like you deal with that as they ratify amendments. Like
Yeah.
amendments make certain laws null and void. So
I mean, this probably isn't the time for this discussion, but like, because I'm wondering about certain things, like how do you prevent a court case like Citizens United, you know, or you know,
how do you prevent the case?
well, no, I mean prevent a ruling like that.
Well, that's in two. That's in Article 1. It disallows the ability for contributions from businesses or political parties.
That's true. Yeah. I
So
I'm just I don't know. I'm just talking in general, like some of the
no, I get you. And those are the things that we're trying to, you know,
yeah
kind of, hey, this isn't the best thing. We need to
yeah or
specifically call
like
this out.
or
And
like Roe v. Wade and then the overturning of it like 30 years later. Like I mean the like in my personal opinion, they should have never been trying to they when they ruled on Roe v. Wade, it was I don't know if it was political per se, but they were trying to create law from the bench. And then
correct.
30 years later they come back and they overturn and say no, we shouldn't be doing that. We can't be doing that. But and I get that, like on its face, I understand the argument, but at the same time it's like, do you understand like how much upheaval and how much turmoil that you're causing people by correcting what you're calling a legal mistake, which
Yeah.
you're not really wrong about, but
Yeah.
um yeah. And it should have just gone through Congress and been passed into law, and you know and then that would have been that. But apparently, we can't
Well,
get anything
see,
done in the federal government.
again,
So
yeah, I think that is the problem with, and that's where you get a lot of the things with this, with the part, where is it? In 7. No court shall prescribe the specific substantive policy, statutory language, funding level, or programmatic design by which Congress or other public authority must comply. Like,
yeah,
the court doesn't have the ability to say,
yeah, I think you're
this
right.
is
That
how
that
you,
covers it.
yeah, this is how you keep it constitutional. They can
Yeah,
just say yes or no, is this constitutional? And they can give you a path to remediate it from a law perspective. Um, like, I don't even remember what the Roe v. Wade. I don't. I mean, this is how much I don't know. I don't know what the ruling actually said in Roe v. Wade versus what was actually.
I'm pretty sure they specifically limited abortion to what was it, 3 months, or it had to be within three or 6 months. I can't remember the
Okay, it was a landmark decision that protected a pregnant person's constitutional right to choose an abortion, primarily based on the right to privacy in the 14th Amendment. However, it was overturned in the case Dobbs versus Jackson's Women Health Order, ending the federal right to abortion and allowing individual states to regulate or ban the procedure. The ruling, let's see, found an implied right to privacy in the due process clause of the 14th Amendment. Trimester. See, this is what they can't do.
Yeah.
They could just they wouldn't be able to say this. The trimester viability for first trimester states could not ban abortion. Decision left to the woman and her doctor. Second and third states could regulate or ban abortion to protect maternal health or fetal, provided where life, and it would just be like banning the ability to get an abortion is
Hmm.
a violation of the Constitution. Period. That would be that in my opinion that would be the end of it. Are you drinking hot sauce?
Hmm. I'm
Like
hungry.
like like just a straight bottle of hot sauce? Is that
Yeah.
what kind?
Taco Bell hot sauce. Don't judge me.
No judging. We don't do that here. What Taco Bell hot sauce?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one? What I don't. Okay. What is it? Just vinegar and spices?
Yeah. I think so.
You,
You never had. You never had hot Taco Bell hot sauce before? It's good.
oh no, I have. I
Yeah.
just you don't know what's in it.
Man, I used to get the packets and before they had before you could buy it in
And
the store,
oh
and I
my
just
gosh.
and I just eat the packet straight, man. It's good stuff.
Thanks for joining, everyone. We're gonna end. Okay. All right. So so that was the whole thing is they said
Yeah,
that states couldn't ban it during the first trimester, second and third that they could,
right.
provided that they do this.
But
So
based on what's written in I think section 8, maybe no, section 7. I think yeah, they constitutionally they shouldn't be able to do that.
constitute like they it would just say no, the state cannot. It doesn't like the Supreme Court cannot make a law. That is Congress's job. So
Right.
the Supreme Court can just somebody goes up and says, "Hey, the state is banning abortion on, this." The ruling should just be, is
No, you
this a
can't do
violation
this.
of
Yes, you
Constitution? Can they do this or can they not? They
can. Yeah.
cannot. There shouldn't be any extra. There
Right.
shouldn't be any extra. It should be they cannot do this. Um,
Yeah, it's a binary decision.
yes.
Yeah, is it constitutional? Yes or no. That's it.
Yeah. And it should just be no. So what they overturned was the fact that um, the court cannot limit what the states what the
Yeah.
state they're leaving it up to the states. Basically, they're saying no, the court can't tell the states what to do. The
Yeah.
court can't determine what is right or what is wrong. They basically say no, the states have the ability to do whatever they want, which is wrong because that what they should have done is should have overturned it and they should have said we're not going to put things on it, but a state cannot ban an abortion. It is
Constitutionally should not be able to
unconstitutional
ban
for
an
a state
abortion.
to ban an abortion.
Yeah.
Period. Done.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed.
Not, oh, well, they can ban it after the first trimester, but not during the first trimester. No, no, no,
Right.
no. It's unconstitutional for a state to regulate the medical care of a person.
Yeah.
Period. In my opinion, the
Agreed.
state shouldn't be able to regulate that.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
But under conservatism, under the law of rule or the rule of order and law,
Authority, order, and authority. Those are
order
the
and
2 words.
authority, people don't have a right to choose what they want to do with their own bodies.
Mm.
That is the choice of God to do what they want to.
Been
God has the right to do with their bodies as he chooses.
been
Not
watching The Handmaid's Tale, man. That shit is wild.
The
Like,
state. Oh, it is. It is.
yeah,
Not the state. But see, my whole thing would be, well, okay, if God is the final authority, then He chooses. You don't get to choose what happens with it. He chooses.
yeah. Well, and
You
he knows
know.
what's best for you. Come on,
Yeah.
like, because he's
So
omnipotent, knows everything.
God said that
He's
she
got
needs an
all in mind.
abortion.
Yeah,
Well, how do you
right.
know that? Well, God said so. Did God tell you to rape her? Well, yeah. Okay. Well, God said she needs an abortion. So,
My God.
I mean, you're saying that God said that. I'm saying God said this. Yeah, who's right?
Yeah.
Go. I don't know. Let's go ask him.
How do you adjudicate that in court?
No, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah, I know.
we're gonna leave a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper out here on this thing with nothing on it, and we are going to ask God to provide a ruling on one way or another of what should happen, or maybe we'll have a speaker set up to where he can speak through the
Yeah,
speaker. No power, no nothing connected to it, just a speaker. If he chooses to use it in his omnipotent capability, and he chooses to write anything down, then we will believe the word of God. But until that happens,
yeah.
yeah, but
We,
God
we
told me. Yeah, well, God
based
told
on that,
me.
like
So,
based on that, we need to start the Church of Matt. I feel like like
you know,
based on those principles.
I don't need to. Just you can just go to um, the Church of Satanism.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, there you go. Church of Satan or the Satanic Temple, one or the other, either one you want. It's a little bit different. The Satanic Temple doesn't believe in. They're not a religious organization. They're a social justice organization and political
Mm,
activism. But yeah, the Church of Satan is essentially rejects God, everything. We're all just animals here. So it's
interesting.
it's more of a libertarian type of church.
I mean, it says right there atheism, so like the belief, no, no belief in a higher power.
Yeah, yeah. So the Satanic Temple is, and a lot of people get these confused. Uh, Satanic Temple is they're the ones that do the political activists. Basically, if you're going to teach God in schools, if you're going to put God in all this stuff, then you need to put our stuff in there as yeah
Yeah,
yeah that's
I
the
get
that's
it.
the same thing. You know
I understand the argument.
the seven tenets right here. One should strive to act
Sweet.
with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. Struggle for justice is an ongoing necessary pursuit. One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. The freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend, to willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is forego one's own. Belief should
Mm,
conform to one's best scientific understanding. See, this one, I understand why they put it in there. Belief should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care to never distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. But you're always going to have people do that. I
yeah.
mean, people are
Well, and
fallible.
so is science. I mean,
Exactly.
science
I mean,
because it's the
people.
idea of it is designed around people. Yeah, and people are fallible.
Correct. People are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might have been caused. Every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, justice should never or should always prevail over the written or spoken word. Which, I mean, these are good tenets to live by. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't,
you could
I don't,
almost
I
say
don't,
that.
I, I don't dislike any of that. Like
I,
I
I,
like that.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I mean, one could say that this is a more concise group of commandments.
I knew you were gonna go there. Like I saw it in my head.
Anyways, anyways, no, it's funny. See, I prefer. I don't know why we're getting on the religious stuff here, but I prefer the um. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that I don't remember what it is. Oh my goodness. What was it? There's a certain religion that, quote unquote, religion that I believe in, but now I can't even remember the name of it.
Hmm, you
It's
got
that
me.
good. Um, the world. I can't remember what it's called. The major religions. Yeah. Yeah, those are the big ones. Yeah, we know all of those. Um, I can't I can't remember. It's two words. It's I don't want to know what the largest list of religions and spiritual traditions. Okay. Dharmic East, Confucianism, Taoism, Indian Buddhism. No. Eastern Christianity. Oh my gosh, there's so many religions, so many different gods. Let me tell you.
Well, I think a lot of them are worshiping the same God. They just believe that he's saying different things.
What?
Yeah.
No. Quakers is a good one. Um, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is terrible. Liberal
All right. Well,
Catholicism,
you
moderns.
want to wrap up, and then we can do this offline.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, you don't want to talk about religion? I understand.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I just don't know if we need to throw this onto the end of a podcast about a judicial policy, Article 3 of
I
the
mean,
Constitution.
but isn't that what it's about?
Tell me.
Isn't that what? How can we separate church and state, Josh? It's not possible. Obviously, the only way to have a rule of the land is to do it through religion.
Mm. Yeah, I heard an interesting Ben Shapiro quote. I don't, the guy that does the Daily Wire,
Yeah.
um, real right wing, and he Jewish guy, and he was his argument was basically that the only reason that we have law and order, and um, the only reason that we have to be kind to each other, to be compassionate towards each other, is because of God. If there's no God, then we don't have any of that. And I'm like,
We have no morals. I've heard that so
I
many
don't
times.
I don't understand. I don't understand that at all. That is so lost on me, and I don't know. It feels so small. Like the idea that like just you and me having the conversation, like this conversation between the two of us right now,
Yeah, we
that for
wouldn't be
me
able to
that is
have this
enough.
without God. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but like I don't need. I'm not saying there is or there isn't a God. All I'm saying is that the fact that we are having this conversation and like it me to me right there, just in and of itself, means that every human is deserving of compassion and grace, and that we should be trying to take care of each other,
Yeah.
whether there's a God or there isn't.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
but
that should
without
be
God, you wouldn't have that. You didn't know that?
right.
That's why people that don't believe in him have no morals.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some don't. I don't.
No, I mean the
I'm.
people that believe in him don't have them. So, I mean.
Oh well, yeah. There's that too. It takes all kinds, man. Hey, you
Well, yeah, you can.
fixed the
Well, I
video.
mean, yeah, we're gonna have to go back to the other one, but no, we're gonna call it. Um, but yeah, we'll stay on after, and I'll fix the video on the other ones. But thanks everybody for joining us. Sorry for all the tangents we went off on, whether it's cybersecurity or the different isms or just religion in general.
Yeah,
It's a terrible thing.
yeah. You're
We tend to
welcome, by the
squirrel.
way.
We like to squirrel. It's fine.
Yeah.
Um, but next time we are going to be going after the next article, which is Article 4, which is some stuff about some states and some things. I don't know. Hey, What is it?
And
State
supremacy. Don't forget
citizenship
about
and
supremacy.
new states. Oh, citizenship. What is that? We have never talked about that before. Anyways,
Has not come up.
it's not come up at all.
Yeah.
So until next week, I don't think that there's. Let me check the calendar. Make sure that the 9th of August. Do you have anything on the 9th of August? I don't think I do.
I think I'm good. I'll be here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, last week, I was sick.
Yeah.
It was
That'll
bad.
happen.
It was bad. It was not good.
But you're better now.
Yeah, I'm better now. I spent a day in bed, and that helped a lot. So
I do enjoy days in bed from time to time.
yeah. So, but until next week, remember, be kind to yourself and each other,
Yeah. Make good choices.
and
Thanks,
make good
everybody.
choices. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next time.
Bye bye.